Today on Renovation Nation, a Baton Rouge family is trying to find a way to balance their green budget and still add a new carport. Wait a minute. You were going to do the carport later, and you want the carport now.
Right.
They're trying to integrate fresh and recycled concrete to make it, which proves to be an unexpected adventure. If he rotates the drum, he's going to scratch it, and then he's going to get in trouble. Then, I'm helping an Oregon family use the leftovers of their house's remodel to build a backyard chicken coop. The big screen goes here?
Well, it'll be a big panel that we got to open up.
No, I mean the big screen TV.
Big screen TV. Sure. Yep.
It's surprisingly how easy we can slide into kind of a chicken's point of view. But it's not coming together without some improved equipment. I'm saying this to you as your friend.
I understand.
But, you know, these tools don't cut. Our nation has a challenge. How do we renovate our homes in a way that's in sync with the planet? I'm Steve Thomas, and together we'll find the answers on Renovation Nation. Today I'm in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, a city that's booming with green building and design. And one of its top architects is Dyke Nelson. Dyke and his wife, Rebecca, have 3 children, Jake, Ellie, and the youngest, Virginia.
Just being in this neighborhood and being so much more convenient to everything and not having to drive everywhere.
Right, that's nice.
That's the thing I'm the most excited about.
After Virginia was born, the couple realized they needed a larger home.
We looked for a house that was big enough and in our price range and had some character. And we looked and we looked and we looked and we couldn't find anything that we were happy with.
So they decided to buy a smaller house and expand it. This gave Dyke a chance to go green, and he ran with it. In fact, he spent so much on high-tech energy-saving systems that he blew his budget. And now he doesn't have enough money for a carport. And that's the one thing his wife really wants.
It rains all the time here, and it was important that I have a place to be able to pull in, unload my kids, unload my groceries, and not get sopping wet.
To hire a contractor would cost Dyke $15,000, and he only has 8 left.
One of the ways we have to cut the budget is for me to do a lot of this work myself.
But Dyke is an architect and not a builder, and that's where I come in. Today I'm going to help Dyke try to build his carport using salvaged materials and recycled crushed concrete. And then later, I'll help install reclaimed steel windows from an abandoned sugar mill. Here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Dyke and Rebecca are doing their first home renovation. He's an architect, she's a stay-at-home mom, and they got 3 kids. Now they're trying to do the right thing, but Dyke has used up most of their budget renovating the home and going green. She wants a carport, and she's a little ticked off. So let's see if we can help him out. This whole area right here that we're making. Let's see if we can find him. We'll do a little marriage counseling here. Project's coming along. Gentlemen, how are you? Looking for Dyke.
How do you do? I'm Dyke.
Dyke, good to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Steve.
Steve, Mike, listen.
Mike.
Yes, sir.
And Dyke.
We've heard it before.
I bet you have. I bet you have. So you are a lead accredited architect.
Yes.
So you know how to design them, but not that much experience building them.
Not that much experience, no. But I'm really interested in learning. It's been incredible working on my own house.
And your wife
Yes,
wants a carport.
she does. She does, and she's very upset with me about not having one already figured out and done. So,
All right. I think I get it.
yeah, that's
It's the perfect storm. We could have some fun with this.
Oh yeah.
Before we start the carport, I need to meet the client on this project, Dyke's wife. Rebecca?
Hi.
Hi, Steve Thomas.
Nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you. Is this Jake?
This is Jake.
Hey, buddy. How are you? So show me the house. Let's take a look at it.
All right.
And then I know that there's a slight marital issue that I'm here to help mediate.
We're hoping that you're the answer, you know?
Don't get your hopes up too much. So this is the great room entrance, big open plan kitchen, and I see these great big framed openings going out onto the porch leading out in the backyard. What are you doing for windows and doors here?
These are going to be 9-foot high steel windows. They were actually salvaged from a sugar mill over in West Baton Rouge.
I mean, it really does have that feeling of Southern hospitality. You know, welcoming, big spaces, high ceilings, lovely view of the backyard. It'll be great. So we've got some projects to do. Most notably, we got to get going on the carport. Just try to sort of encapsulate again for me the problem with the carport.
When we talked about it the first time, that was not the highest priority. And so because of the cost of it being,
When we talked about it the first time, we just assumed we would do a carport, and then it kept getting swept under the rug, so to speak.
Wait a minute. You were going to do the carport later, and you want the carport now.
Right.
As of right now, you don't have the dough to do the carport.
correct.
But you can divert some money from the project to the carport if we can figure out some strategies to do the carport for less money.
Correct.
Equipment, like skid steer loaders and so on.
We have contractor friends that I think we can get some help from.
Lumber, free.
Got some free lumber. I got some things we salvaged from the house. I also have a building that I renovated downtown that has a lot of good lumber in it.
Now we're going to need some concrete.
There's a site near here where they're demolishing an old strip center and they're breaking up the concrete, so I think that'd be a great option.
Well, let's go gather some of these materials and see if we can make this happen.
Okay.
Do you know how to drive a skid steer loader?
I used to have a Suburban.
By building the carport out of recycled materials, you can keep the project not only cost efficient, but sustainable. So there's a strip mall here which they tore down.
Strip mall here that they tore down, they're planning to come back with a new mixed-use development, and so they decided instead of just calling all this off to the landfill, to recycle all the concrete that they were breaking up. So that's how I knew about this as a potential opportunity for us to get a little bit of the recycled concrete.
So what they're doing is they're taking all the concrete, putting it in that crusher, turning it into this stuff right here.
Right.
So you've got a real mix.
Yes.
You got some big pieces of concrete that are like 2 inches, and then you got fines. Problem there is that, well, this stuff will pack down really well in your carport. It's going to be dirty. I'm going to tell you right now, as soon as it gets wet, it's going to be a muddy mess. Now, the question to ask is, of what value is an unhappy wife?
To have her unhappy make her happy is priceless, I guess.
But it's not even the happiness factor. It's the practicality of it. I'm great to save money, but not to save on quality. I think it's really important that we have a nice carport.
I do not have $15,000 left over in the budget. We have a finite budget, and the budget is the budget.
It is going to be messy. There's no question about it.
Right.
I mean, just look at the dust blowing off of this. You got to decide. I mean, you get free stuff that's messy.
Well, that doesn't sound like a solution. Well, how expensive is the concrete really?
It's expensive. It's not cheap.
Why don't we plan to pour a slab later?
Okay.
We'll use this as a base, come in later, and you pour the slab.
Then our phase 2 is, rather than the whole carport, the phase 2 is just the concrete.
Right.
Okay.
That a deal?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
All right, good.
Sounds good.
You're happy with that?
Sure.
You owe me big.
Yeah, okay, great.
To try to stay on budget and incorporate green, Dyke has decided to use a 2-inch sub-base of this recycled crushed concrete and then finish the floor with 4 inches of new concrete. As our free recycled concrete is delivered, the Nelsons and I get started by checking the plans.
The idea is that we would have a carport here with a connecting walkway that came into the mudroom. Real simple, open air.
Seems to be a reasonable
Right.
request to me.
How hard is that?
How hard is that?
Everything costs money.
Okay, so let's take a look at it on the site itself. Dyke and I get to work by first laying out the perimeter of the carport and driving in stakes at the corners. Rebecca volunteers to drive in the last stake.
You're a braver man than I am, Steve.
After the stakes are in, we drive a nail into each one and run a string line to mark off the area. Now we have an outline of the carport. If you can imagine, this is the carport.
So then the breezeway goes right there.
The breezeway.
Okay, great.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's so good. I just want I want confirmation.
It's great.
Okay. Next, it's time to use one of my favorite toys, the laser level. It'll show us how even the ground is from one edge of the carport to the other. Then I make marks to signify the amount of concrete that needs to get poured. And it's very important that Dyke know this. So those 4 marks that we put out, that's an absolutely level line. So the the yard slopes off like that. You get a lot of rain here, right? So you got to think about how you're going to get the water away from the building. You don't want to push it down too low because you don't want to come out. You like to be at the same grade, right?
Right.
You know, in the next couple of days, you need to make these decisions.
Right.
Okay.
Then you need to lay it out with some precision. Then you need to start framing. You have salvage materials to frame with?
Yeah, I have a lot of salvage materials, some stuff that we took from this house, some other buildings around town. That
Is it on site?
It is on site, yes. This is where the major framing materials are. There's some pieces that are obviously, you know, we're just going to use for scraps, for bracing and things.
Wait a minute.
But there
I
are.
mean no disrespect.
No, thank you.
I was wondering where the materials were to build this thing.
Using what I got. So I got this, and then I've got.
It's not
that's
the
old cypress.
It's not the quality that I'm worried about. It's the quantity.
Well, I need some more. That's definitely. Yeah.
Well, here you actually got some pretty good pressure-treated posts. This is a good start. Got some 4x6s and some 6x6s over here. So that's a good start.
Well, yeah, you got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah. Dyke has enough recycled materials to get started on the forms for the concrete we'll be pouring, and I'll return after the weekend to check up on him and get this carport finished. When I arrive a couple days later, I'm pleased to see they've been able to accomplish a lot. The form work using reclaimed lumber is done, and now we have to spread the recycled concrete for the sub-base. So, I'm heading over to find my loader driver to get things started. You ready?
Yep, I'm ready.
Okay.
I'll put in my coffee and I'm ready to get going.
You're dressed very elegantly. You're probably the most elegant loader driver in Baton Rouge right now.
Well, thank you very much.
You're very welcome. I'm going to give Rebecca some practice time on this skid steer before she gets to work.
Kind of like a ride.
There, yeah. Key is up upper right.
All right.
Then
Okay.
give it some gas. And now
Pick it up more.
now pick up the there you go. Perfect.
Well, and everything's floating.
Now that you've done one, still take it slow. So we've made a lot of progress.
Yeah.
We really pulled it together.
Yeah.
How many
a lot of
favors
things have happened?
How
yeah.
many favors did you burn up in the last
I
couple
think
days?
I may have one left, maybe, but most of them are gone now.
The pad is excavated.
Yes.
Lyle and his crew has set the form. Your wife has started to bring in that crushed material.
Yes.
You decided to pour a concrete pad here,
Correct.
but you didn't have any money. So what did you give up in the house to get yourself a concrete pad here to keep your wife happy?
I'm not sure yet. It's in the middle of the project at some point during the line, and I'm sure it'll be something that I sacrifice and not her, so we'll see.
While we wait for the concrete to arrive, an unexpected delivery shows up. The reclaimed window frames. Have you seen these yet, Rebecca?
No, I was just saying, this
No,
is
come
kind
on
of like
in.
a big reveal because there's been so much drama about these windows. I am so excited that the windows finally arrived. They were supposed to be here months ago, so I have been very nervous that they were maybe not going to come. I'm really happy with the finish and happy with the color and can't wait to see them installed.
Okay, so you've got a big window and a little window,
Yes.
and your intention was to put the big window on the bottom?
We've gone
The big
back
one
and
on
forth
top.
about it. The way I drew it was with the big window on the bottom and the little window on top.
So let's start with that.
Sure.
But doesn't it bother you to see this right?
Well, hold on. Let's put it on there, and we'll sit
Okay.
down and look at it, because there's a standing eye level, and then there's a sitting eye level. The problem is, either way we install them, the view will be obstructed. The window frames still need to be fitted with glass, so we temporarily put them in both ways to see which gives the clearer view out.
So I would prefer that thick line be at like waist level as opposed to at eye level.
I think it feels better with the weight on the bottom.
It looks more logical, like more thoughtful this way than the other way, like it was meant to be.
The oracle has spoken. Now everybody kicks into high gear as the concrete transit truck pulls into the driveway. So did they give you a brand new truck because you're going to be on television?
Yeah, let me borrow one.
What's your name?
Bert.
Bert? Hey, Bert. How are you, man? This truck is brand new, and it's big. I can see we're going to have a problem getting it near enough to the carport to make the pour. Can you get any closer?
Yeah, I get some.
Okay.
Now, I don't want to scratch it too much. That's why that's a good idea.
Yeah, I'll get up there. Keep going. That's on your drum. You gonna get in trouble for that? With these giant trees blocking our path, the truck can't maneuver close enough to the formwork for the slab. If he rotates the drum, he's gonna scratch it. And then he's gonna get in trouble. So we can't get him in trouble. Here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Dyke and Rebecca Nelson are building a carport for their newly renovated house. The concrete transit truck has just arrived to pour the floor, but we discovered that the truck is too tall to drive into their backyard. He can't scratch his truck, he'll get in trouble. The Nelson's carpenter, Lyle Peak, has a solution for carrying the concrete the rest of the way.
No, we're going to use a Georgia bucket to get it in.
Georgia bucket is one of these motorized wheelbarrows, right?
It's about 2 yards.
2 yards. So we need to get one of those right now.
Right.
Okay. Then we gotta go.
Okay.
Let's go. I mean, we're running out of time. Lyle returns with a bucket, and we can now get started on the pour. Dyke fills up his bucket with the first batch and heads out back. There you go. The crew has covered the crushed recycled concrete with a plastic sheet or vapor barrier. This will prevent moisture in the ground from penetrating the concrete. They've also laid down metal rebar to reinforce the concrete slab.
There's a big old pile of concrete in the flower bed, or what was the flower bed.
The new concrete also has a green element because Dyke ordered a mix with recycled fly ash, which also strengthens it. Bucket after bucket after bucket. Dyke, Lyle, and I all have a go transporting the concrete. You got a rhythm. You got production. You're making it. Yahoo! But just as I pull up to the transit truck for another load, we run into a big problem. There's no more concrete in the truck.
That's all of it?
Hold on. Dyke!
All right. Yeah,
Come here. Who did the concrete calculations?
I did the concrete calculations for 12 yards, which would have covered us. They came with, when Rebecca talked to them yesterday, they were going to bring 2 trucks, would have been 16 yards, which would have been plenty of concrete.
Yeah.
They showed up with 9.
Okay.
So
you
we were doing running some quick calculations recently to try to figure out where to draw the line, and that was when I came back here and they said we
They just said they had 3 yards left.
and then it just changed to no more.
Yeah, you got nothing. You can't use that.
The big challenge is making sure they still got somebody there with that can drive it.
Well, who somebody make the call?
Yeah, the concrete guy.
Let's go talk to him.
Okay.
So they sent everybody home.
They sent everybody home?
Is there any way to get it?
That's what he's telling me now. If you call,
Okay, well, let's call him.
Oh, yeah.
It's obvious there's nothing our driver can do, so Dyke calls the salesman to try to work something out.
Yeah, I thought we were getting about 16 yards and we needed 12. So there's no way possible? Okay, well, all right, well,
They can't get it here. And I tried, we called somebody, and no such luck.
This is going to set us back, but all is not lost. The wet concrete can be sectioned off with a 2x6 and finished as a separate slab. Then Dyke can pour the rest at a later date. The fact is, there's absolutely nothing you can do about it right
not right now.
Nothing, totally out of our
Nope.
control.
We tried everything we could.
So,
now. It is what it is.
right. It's progress.
You got a lot more carport than you did a couple of days
Exactly.
ago.
A couple hours ago. Where are you
That's
gonna-
true. She's happy. That's all that counts. End of the day, she's happy.
Right.
And
For
if
now.
she's happy, you're happy.
Exactly.
right.
Well,
For now. Boy, she always ups the ante, huh?
exactly.
Dyke Nelson spent so much money installing green technologies in his renovated home, he couldn't afford to build a carport for his wife, or so he thought. We were able to come up with a carport plan that would cost less by using salvaged building materials and low-cost labor, which included the Nelsons and me. And now it's up to Dyke to finish what we started and get this carport completed. So the price of a carport using salvaged materials?
Probably ended up being about $8,000 or so, yeah.
And the price of domestic peace?
I can't really put a price on that. That's priceless, definitely.
It was really fun working with you both.
Pleasure, thank you.
And,
Likewise.
and stay in touch. You don't mind if I borrow that little skid steer, do you?
No, not at all.
Think it'll
Go
make it to
for it.
Boston?
It should.
With enough diesel.
Bye, Steve.
Today I'm in Portland, Oregon. Pat Lando is a landscape architect, and his wife Jody is a bionutritionist whose focus is on wildlife habitat protection. They have 2 children, Reed and Piper.
This is the wood that we're going to stack in our wood pile to burn in our fireplace to keep us warm.
The couple's been renovating an inefficient 1960s house to make it into a model green home.
When we saw this house, we realized this is the place that we could really push the envelope. With this house, we could actually try out some of those new technologies.
But a lot of the work has been done by Pat and Jody alone, and there's a lot of unfinished projects.
We've got a lot of green projects going on here. From the outside, we capped the roof with a living roof or green roof. We sprayed in foam insulation. We put in new doors and windows. Redid the whole heating system.
So Pat's an incredible guy and he can do a lot of stuff, but he's only one person, and having Steve and Steve's expertise and his experience and all of the projects he's been involved in are really going to help us out here to make this a reality today.
I'm going to help the Landos finish some of their numerous projects, installing a gray water and rainwater filtration system, and creating a backyard home for their new chickens that are coming home to roost. Here in the Mount Tabor neighborhood of Portland, Oregon, Pat and Jody Landau bought a house that was built in the 1960s, and they're turning it into a model green home with some pretty surprising features, like a chicken coop. Let's check this one out. Cool. Steve Thomas.
Hi, Steve. Pat Lando.
Pat, good to meet you.
Jody Lando.
Jody, good to meet you. And this is your daughter.
That's Piper.
Piper and Reed, he's in the other room. He'll be out shortly.
Well, show me around outside, because I understand that you've got a lot of green features, including a green roof.
Absolutely.
But the one I don't get is the chicken coop.
Well, the chicken coop is the tail end. You spend, a year and a half working on the house, and the chicken coop is the fun part.
What's green about it?
Well, we're moving our food closer to our house, for sure. A lot less trips to the grocery store.
Do you eat the chickens or just the eggs?
We're just going to eat the eggs. That's the plan for now. But it teaches the kids, they've been learning about chickens and where food comes from, farmers markets. And so bringing the chickens here and producing the eggs here just brings it a little bit closer to our family.
And we're going to build the coop today.
That's
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Because
You better roll up your sleeves.
This is a project that you started, but you haven't finished.
That's right. I got it framed in a little bit, and that's about it.
So, are you a guy who starts projects and doesn't quite finish them, or?
I just start a lot of projects, and they're all in production mode.
And they eventually get finished, but your help's going to be key.
Show me around the outside of the house. Let's take a quick look, and then we'll jump into the chicken coop.
Sounds good.
Fair enough? Now, one of the things I notice on this side of the house is your living wall, which is kind of a variation of a living roof. Explain how this works.
So this is going to handle all the stuff that we're not capturing off the roof. And,
So what does it come off the roof, cascade down these
That's right.
little
and
shelves?
That's right, and then it makes its way all the way down on the ground. So it's a continuous piece of soil essentially going all the way down.
Pat designed the system so you have your vertical aluminum struts and then you have your horizontal recycled lumber. It went in late fall, and so it hasn't had a chance to really green up and develop. But when it's green and fully developed, this whole wall is going to be green. You won't see the structure. You're just going to see the green sedums.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, chicken coop.
Chicken
Let's
coop.
do it.
So
This is the beginnings of the chicken coop?
This is the beginnings of the chicken coop.
Okay.
So we started.
What am I looking at here?
We're going to have 2 boxes that are basically fit together. One extends out horizontally, one goes up vertically, and then it's tall because you want to be able to have high roosts for the chickens. They want to get up as high as possible. And so we're going to have room for probably 2 different bars of roosts. Nest boxes down here, and then the access to the coop here.
I'm still not envisioning the end result. So the Landos take me inside to look at their plans. All right, plans.
Vast, complicated.
That's it?
There we go, Steve. That's pretty much it.
That should
Little
be enough.
concept. Anybody could build it.
Which way's up?
We have one big box and another little box on this side.
This is sort of a
This
modern,
is a
modern
chicken's-
chicken coop.
Should be a
Chicken's
modern
dream.
chicken, yeah.
That's a chicken screen?
Oh, yeah.
You've been inside the head of a chicken? You know what they're
Yep.
dreaming about?
Yeah, we have a chicken consultant that we have worked with, and he has told us this is a chicken stream.
So we need to see what you got for tools and what you got for materials.
Okay.
Let's go find your brother. Come on. Come on, guys. Let's go get ready to build that chicken stream.
Since the coop frame has only partially been constructed, we get the structure up onto sawhorses to try to figure out what's left to be done. Soon we're joined by Jake O'Donnell, the Lando's poultry consultant. Is that what it says on your business card?
Chicken Man.
Chicken, seriously?
Chicken Man.
You have a business card?
I don't have one with me.
It literally says
unfortunately.
Chicken Man.
Chicken Man.
For years, Jake was our supplier of fresh eggs. He
Oh,
had
cool.
a farm just outside of Portland, and
Yeah.
he raised
I have about
100.
150 chickens.
So he's a bona fide chicken man.
Yep.
Yeah, he really knows them.
You could add that to your business
I
card.
could.
So he knows
Cool.
coops, species.
Yep.
So they like living in a box like this?
Yeah, oh yeah. This is
They
perfect.
love boxes.
They love boxes.
So how's this going
This
to work?
is Chicken Man approved designs.
It is.
This is
I
it.
work with them on this design.
All right, so, I mean, walk me through this from a chicken's point of view.
Chickens are nest oriented. So once
What
they
does
get
that mean?
that means once you establish where they're living, they're not going to stray too far from that, and they know that that's the place where their food is at, where the eggs are going to be, where their nest is at.
So eat here, roost here,
Yep.
and
Lay
Nest
eggs
here.
there.
lay eggs here.
Yep.
Got it.
Yeah.
And then this opening over here is our clean out.
That's the clean out?
Yep.
Yeah.
The big screen goes here?
Well, it'll be a big panel that we got to open up.
No, I mean
clean
the
all
big
that stuff.
screen TV.
Big
Big screen TV.
Sure.
Yep.
That helps. Now I can think about this more from a chicken's point of view.
Which is important.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's surprisingly how easy we can slide into kind of a chicken's point of view. Now that we've got a chicken's perspective on the key features for a coop, Jake leaves us to get the job done. The first step is cutting the rest of the framing, but I don't get very far. Whoa. I just did it. The bearings are definitely going on this puppy,
I know.
you know. I feel unsafe.
You do? You want me to do the cutting?
This guy definitely needs a tune-up in his toolkit. I'm in Portland, Oregon, where Pat and Jody Lando are turning their 1960s house into a model green home. Pat and Jody have been doing most of the work themselves, and a lot has been left unfinished. So far, we've started the framing for the backyard chicken coop, made from the house's leftover siding. But it's proven a little difficult. Pat's tools and his plans have me a little frustrated. This is one of the most complicated chicken coops I've ever seen. Most chicken coops I've seen are like 4 pieces of plywood, a little thing on the top. This is like a new addition to the West Wing of the National Gallery. Let's start making panels and make them all the same.
Now the fun is going to start.
Now the fun starts. Taking it apart because we want to basically prefab this structure. We want to take all of this paneling that was left over from the house, cut it all to the same dimension, get it all ready to go on, and then put it up. That means that the substructure has to be precise because the look of this chicken coop is going to replicate the house. And the house is architecturally crisp. Do you have a neighbor with a table saw?
Yeah.
Is he home?
38? I don't know.
Now I've lost my patience. Totally lost my patience at this point.
I'm not going to be able to...
I'm saying this to you as your friend,
I understand that.
but you know, these tools don't cut it. They just don't cut it. You're a landscape architect, I understand, and I treat you as a brother, but we've got to get you some better tools. So if your neighbor has tools, then we should cast ourselves on his mercy. Otherwise, we're never going to get the project done. There's going to be 5 feet of snow on the ground. If your neighbor's got a table saw, we can pre-cut all these panels. All of them. And then it'll go together really quickly. It's going to save you a lot of time. You want to throw yourself on his mercy? Beg? Shamelessly? Have your wife do it. She'll be better at it than you are.
The table saw that you borrowed from Ben.
It's broken,
Okay. Then you want me to go talk to Steve?
if you want. I mean, we can't do the cement boards in there, that's for sure.
Well, that we can do here.
Yeah.
So we got, one of us can do one thing, one of us can do the other thing.
And that Fez.
actually a bigger
Whose
project
is this?
That's Steve's too.
Okay.
I think we go chat with Steve.
You want to go chat with him?
Yeah, I don't know what to borrow, so if
Well,
you...
we just
we're
wanna
going to
go
come
over
over.
there. Wanna
We'll bring
go
the
over and-
panels and bring over the panels and cut them at his place.
Okay, why don't I give him a call and let
So
him
let's,
Okay.
check in
you're
with
the
him.
architect, I mean, you're the designer. Let's get some dimensions and we'll pre-cut everything. Come back here. If we have to take the frame apart a little bit and readjust it, that's actually going to be easier than
adjusting
cutting
the panels, sure.
Yeah, so let's cut the panels and then we'll put it together. You got 49. So 24, 2 at 24 and a half in width.
Yep,
So we can bring them over there if need
yep.
be.
I'm just gonna do it. It's your call. I mean, I'm being a bully and a bore and everything, but so I apologize for. Pat relents and takes the panels over to his neighbor Steve to see if we can use his tools and get the project back on track. Once he gets the go-ahead, he brings me over. So it's a good thing that you have a neighbor with decent tools.
Tools.
Yeah, to get you readmitted to the man cave.
Oh, jeez. Steve? That's my neighbor Steve.
Very nice to meet you, Steve. So you're gonna dig him out of the hole? He's embarrassed himself with having such a pathetic collection of tools over there.
We've collected a few others here, so.
Well, show me what you've got. Wow. Now, you just said your neighbor had a table saw. You didn't tell me that he had the ultimate shop set up in here. Now, this is a serious piece of work here.
It's pretty nice. Well, I think you're in good
All
hands,
right.
Steve.
Cool. All right.
I'll see you guys back over at my place. Steve, thanks so much.
Sure.
The pinch. And
pleasure.
I'll get going to it before we lose daylight.
Steve and I get to work cutting the panels to size. The Landos try to figure out the next step.
I don't care. It's fun.
You don't care if there's a gap all the way up?
In no time, the panels are cut. It looks like we'll get to finish this chicken coop after all. Last cut. Steve, thank you very much. You have a fine workshop and you're a gentleman, and we'd never have done this without you and your workshop. Thank you.
Glad to be of service.
I head back over to the Landos and find out that Pat has turned his attention to another project, harvesting water. He's working on both a gray water and a rainwater filtration system, and he wants to get them set up, as his plumber is due to arrive soon. So we change our focus. For now, this is a gray water collection system.
That's right.
And gray water is not really gray, it's soapy.
It's all the soapy water. So from your showers, your baths, and your labs are a good place to take it from.
So there's a difference between gray water and black water.
Right, black water, you leave up to the experts.
So this is a commercially available gray water
Yep,
filtration system, right?
that's right. So it comes as a complete kit. It's got your pump in here. This is where the water comes in. There's a little filter. You put a chlorine tablet in there.
So the water from the house, the soapy water from the house, is piped down, comes in here.
Comes in there. And then it's piped back out.
It comes through here, through this like a sock, right?
Mm-hmm.
And filters out all the kind of scummy bits and awful things that
Right,
we shouldn't talk about on television, right? And then that goes into this tank.
right. Tank holds it for just a little bit, like 24 hours. And if you don't use it in 24 hours, it dumps it.
Oh, it does, because you don't want it to stink.
Right, you want it to go septic on you. So it dumps it.
When you flush the toilet, the pump will come on and pump the soapy water into the toilet and use it to flush your toilets.
Right.
And then it goes down into the municipal sewer system.
That's right.
So you're just reusing that water once.
Yep. Well, in this case,
Which
we're
saves
reusing.
thousands and thousands and thousands
Right.
of gallons a year.
Right.
Pat's well versed in how this gray water tank saves water, but he's called in a plumber to do the actual installation.
Hey,
Steve Thomas.
nice to meet you, Jeff Newberry.
Good to meet you.
Jeff, you ready for
Hey,
this
Pat.
thing?
You ever put
Yeah.
one of these in before?
No, this is the first one in Oregon that I know
Wow.
of.
We move the gray water tank into position downstairs. So you landscape architects, you know.
Put me to work instead of at the table, right?
exactly. Goes into this hole.
That's right. Drop her in.
Next, we get the rainwater filtration unit. All right, this is something that you invented.
We developed, I should say.
It's a rainwater filtration system.
Yeah, we call it a rain washer.
The filtration is a multi-step process. Rainwater will first be collected in a large outdoor cistern that's already in place out front. From here, it'll make its way into this unit, a rain washer, which cleans the water so it can be used throughout the house.
There we go.
This is something that takes rainwater and purifies it to the extent that you can drink it.
That's right. The rainwater from the tank comes in this pipe back here and goes up and around through 2 filters, sediment filters, yeah. And then a UV filter which sterilizes the column of water, and then it gets delivered out.
So this will take all the water that you collect in this tank, purify it so you can drink it.
Essentially, yep.
Cool. Awesome. With the gray water tank in place and the rain washer ready to go, we're going to let Jeff, the professional plumber, install them both. Pat and I can finally turn our attention back to the chicken coop. With the panels cut to a uniform size, we've finally got all the pieces ready to resume assembly. But just as we're about to start, the weather takes an ominous turn. It's hail! It's the chicken coop from hail! I'm in Portland, Oregon, with Pat and Jody Lando. We're trying to green up their 1960s home. So far, I've taken a look at their gray water and rainwater filtration systems, but building their backyard chicken coop has turned out to be way more complicated than I'd imagined. And now, Mother Nature is not cooperating. The hail is coming and going, which isn't an ideal situation for finishing the chicken coop. So we decided to wait for the weather to pass. And for now, I'm going to help Pat finish another project he's already started. This whole front elevation of glass drops down like the back window on your mom's station wagon, right?
That's right.
What was your thinking on this exactly? I know it's supposed to be green, but it just seems crazy. I mean, you got 3/4 of a ton of glass that you got to move up and down.
Yeah, I'm not saying that it was easy, just like this chicken coop.
But what's the idea?
Well, it's a couple different goals. One, it's reacting to the environment here, where this is our only full sun area. So we're taking advantage of some passive solar.
Yeah.
With the dark floor, the wall of glass.
Yeah.
So in the wintertime, it gets nice and toasty in there.
Yeah.
In the summertime,
It gets nice and toasty in
it
there.
gets nice and toasty. So if we drop it down a little bit, it gets rid of that heat right off the front.
All right. Now, the thing doesn't work.
It does work. The problem is that the brake on it isn't holding it in place well enough.
Which could be bad in the middle of a snowstorm like we had about 10 minutes ago.
That's right.
All
So
right.
we just need a little adjustment, and it takes 2 people because one person has to be outside, the other person has to be inside. So I figured when I had some help.
I'm coming not to believe you when you say it's a really simple thing, because you sold me down the river with the chicken coop on it's just really easy, and
It's true.
it'll only take a couple hours.
Yeah.
And we're like 6 hours into it.
6
we're
hours.
not done. All right, so let's see what you got.
Okay.
I love the idea, by the way. I think it's a cool idea. Pat takes me inside to show me the mechanics of the window, which uses a commercial garage door system to open and close it.
It's chain driven, usually by a motor, but in this case, it's driven by hand. So you can see the big wheel inside, and that opens and closes it.
All right, so...
And it's counterbalanced.
With?
Springs.
So you got a big wheel here that's...
It's connected to the gears.
And then a brake handle.
The brake handle's from a 1939 Chevy 1.5 ton. Okay, you gotta move it slow.
Believe me. All that glass, I'm gonna move it slow. So the brake's off.
It's all you.
Yeah. Well, it goes down easily. That's actually very cool. I love this. It's so nutty. And up there you can see all the springs and the shaft, the cabling. So it's pretty complex. This was designed for like an airplane hangar. This is what moves those things around.
Correct, yeah, same system.
Okay. Now, when you put this in, the guys must have thought you were out of your mind, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
about the same comments I got from you.
Yeah. That's right. Uh-huh.
So we're gonna raise it up and we're just gonna tighten up that brake a little bit just to make sure it holds itself in place.
Okay, so this is theoretically what holds it.
That's right.
And it does not work.
Right, so we gotta tighten that up.
Okay, that's it?
That's our job.
So if this were me, I'd want a big herky cable on there. This thing looks like it came off your bicycle.
It did, but the cable is the next project.
You've always got a next project.
Yeah.
You did steal the brake off your bicycle.
I told you I did.
That's exactly what this is. This tiny little dinky thing is supposed to hold that window up? Come on. I have a closer look. The brake should work. And it's not broken like I thought it might be. Just needs to be tightened. Instead of the little lever on your handlebars, you stole the lever off your truck, and that's what actuates the brake. That's what pulls the little cable here. So we're just readjusting it. I thought this was going to be a big deal. This was going to be like a really heroic exercise, but no.
No, I'm just showing off the big window.
All right. Hold on here.
Okay.
This is another one of these experimental kind of...
Highly experimental.
All right. We're about ready to declare victory.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We did it.
Sealed up.
It's crazy. But we must press on and get the chicken coop finished. Come on. Come on, baby. Let's get that chicken going.
You gonna put it here?
Yeah. So we're flashing the joints between all of these panels. What happens is the water runs down the side of the chicken coop, hits the flashing, and can't get up and disturb the chickens. We want them to be happy and laying healthy eggs. And I love the guy dearly, but I'm telling you, this is a complicated way to build a chicken coop. Every one of these reveals, you see this? If this is off, when you look at it, it's going to look like chicken manure. So you got to be really precise. In the reveal here has got to be precise. This has got to be precise. The corners have to be really precise because you look at it and the eye can tell little tiny discontinuities. And you look at it and you say, looks awful. So it's got to be right, which is taking us forever. All for the chickens. Looks good. Hot. It looks hot. But it's a chicken coop, dude. A chicken coop! As we get close to finishing, Jake, the poultry expert, comes out to help us move the coop to its final location. Well, the world's most complicated chicken box is taking shape, but it's going to get really heavy really fast. So we're thinking we should put it in place and then put the fiber cement siding, which is over here, on it. Because this stuff weighs a ton. It's fiber cement. So our next step, under the guidance of Chicken Man, is to put it in place. So if you were a rooster, what would you be saying right now? It's like, oh, them chickens in one box.
Just for
Let's
me.
go.
After a little adjustment, it goes into place on a raised platform. All right, so we're gonna put a temporary in here, right?
Yeah, so now we just prop it up so we're level.
Level. You're worried about that?
Hey, if it's not level, the chickens will fall off in the middle of the night.
I think we should get the front on it at least. We're not gonna finish it today.
Okay.
It's getting too late.
Yep.
But at least we can introduce the new chickens to it. Now that the coop is level, we install the fiber cement siding that completes Pat's original design aesthetic.
All right.
Guys, it looks great.
Well, it's got a few more tweaks, but that's pretty much like everything else around the house. So they got a little place here. You can reach in, grab the eggs.
Grab the eggs, yep.
They'll actually walk up this little gangplank here?
Yeah, they'll go for
They
it.
will?
They will.
Okay.
They'll do it.
They know where the food is, huh?
They know where the food is.
So, you guys are going to tweak.
Tweak away.
We're going to go pick up the chickens in my Saturn hybrid.
Sounds good. Let's
With
go.
your kids. Come on.
See you guys.
See you later. Safe and sound.
Okay. Ready? Here you go, here. You want to hold my hand? You're on the busy street. You can swing. Ready for chickens?
Hi, Jody.
Steve, this is Robert.
Hey, Robert.
Hi, Steve.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, too.
Hannah?
Nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you. Let's go get the chicks. You ready?
All right, let's do it.
Let's go find your chickens.
Come on, guys.
No, you're chicken.
No, they're not mine. You guys are going to farm the chickens.
All right. Oh, wow, you guys look.
So what breed are you recommending for these folks?
Well, these folks are looking for something called a bantam, which is a half-size chick. It's over here.
Half-size?
Yeah, they don't become as big as the regular chickens, so they are easy to take care of at home.
We've heard they're about a third the size of a regular chicken and lay about half the number of eggs.
Do we have feed and all that kind of stuff?
We got all the supplies. They came a couple days ago, got our supplies, and so we'll just bring them home and get them in their bed.
Now that the kids have been introduced to their chicks, it's time to load them up for the trip home.
And
Can I hold them?
they're going to go right in between you guys.
With our chicks in tow, the Landos finally have everything they need for their backyard chicken coop. And now, Pat can focus on starting new green projects.
No.
So the chickens have their new home.
Oh, it's been great,
You have
Steve.
the chickens' new home.
Thank you
very
so
much.
It's been
Thanks.
great.
See you, sweetie pie.
All
Thanks,
right.
Steve.
It's great meeting all these people all over the country building and renovating green. And I'm proud to be part of it. We'll see you next time on Renovation Nation.